think's where we are. I think we're on 7. I don't know. I kind of took a break whenever they stopped giving me anything to talk about with the 1.7 to 1.8 pause and giving out any information. So here we are. We're back at it. Let's get into what was said at the state of the game. It was actually a pretty good state of the game today. Um, it lasted almost a full hour. They gave a lot of information, which was pretty awesome. So what do we know? We know that 1.8 is dropping next week. What we weren't given was the exact date. We won't find out the date until Monday, but they heavily hinted that 1.8 will be dropping the day that they more than likely do all their updates, which tells us it'll be on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, we should have it. So that's what we're hoping for. So, what else did they say? Hey, Lil Z baby, how's it going? Welcome. What else did they say during the podcast or during the stream today of the state of the game? They talked about Rogue 2.0. They talked about updates to the weapons. They talked about all kinds of information regarding next week's drop. So, Rogue 2.0, it's coming as is. They're watching the data that they see on the back end. Yo, what's going on, Dead Destroyer? They're watching the data that they see on the back end to ensure that everything is going to be up to par with numbers. So I don't think they're going to be done tweaking. I think there's going to be more tweaks to Rogue 2.0. So we'll see what happens. If you don't know already, there's no more 19-second timer for accidental. But on top of that, there's also no more 19-second timer. If you toggle Rogue, you go Rogue for 60 seconds, regardless. So it's no more getting a 19-second timer and trying to run it off quickly because you only have 19 seconds. You're going to get a full 60-second timer. So it's almost a full Rogue One. Rogue One, Star Wars, see what I did there? Rip the dream. So there's that to look forward to for Rogue 2.0. Weapons, all the exotics are getting a buff. Except for the Pac-On. The Pac-On is going to get a decrease in damage. They feel like it's too strong. But essentially what was said during the state of the game was exotic weapons should be treated as weapons that are more desirable than the standard weapons. The only difference being that third talent is locked. So you can end up getting a stronger weapon based on a talent if you get a weapon that's not of the exotic class. So they said with the LMGs, if you get an exotic LMG and you have two LMGs that are exactly the same, we'll say the M60 and its exotic variant being the now it left me. What's that stupid thing called? The Hungry Hog. The Hungry Hog is going to have slightly more damage, base damage, than the Yoda Fusion than the M60. But the Hungry Hog has that one talent, the Glutton, that's locked that you can't change. So you might be able to get a better talent in your third slot on the other gun. Nice, you're in school. So that being said, if you have a Glutton, or I'm sorry, a Hungry Hog, and you have an M60, and you have Prepared and Deadly, and then on this one you have the Glutton talent, which is that one talent that gives you the damage, and then you get I don't know, let's say Brutal for headshots. If you're landing headshots, this gun, the M60 could be more powerful than the Glutton, but the Glutton's gonna, or the Hungry Hog, but the Hungry Hog's gonna have more base damage. I don't know why I keep calling it by its talent. It's not the Glutton, it's the Hungry Hog. So hopefully that makes sense. Next thing they talked about was the loot drops. After the last global event, well, not the last global event, after the global event that drops the final 3 sets of gear, or 4 sets of gear, I apologize, Tactician, Firecrest, Hunter's Faith, and what's the fourth one? Alpha Bridge. Once that one comes out, they're going to increase the drop rate of classified gear. So once we get to the last set and the last global event gives them to us, they're going to increase them. With that being said, I wish you could be here too, Fusion. I really do. if you want to get classifieds that you don't have right now, when 1.8 comes out, you're going to be able to get them from all the world bosses. You're going to be able to include underground, any boss in a mission, resistance, and in resistance, you're going to be able to buy special caches with shade tech that you get from doing resistance, and it's going to be expensive, but those caches are going to give you much higher chances of getting classified sets. I think it's almost a given that you're going to get something classified or exotic. They didn't give numbers or percentages on how much it would be or what it would be, but still, that's better than nothing. They also mentioned that there's no more last stand rank or skirmish rank. It's called PvP rank. And once you get to a certain PvP rank, or every 5 I think the way they explained it was at 45, 50, 55, you're going to get exotic caches. Or I'm sorry, classified caches. So you have a better chance of getting more gear that way. So that's going to be awesome because now it's not just going to be grinding these events. You're going to have to grind. You'll be able to grind PvP and level up and get these caches. So that'll help the people that haven't completed the sets. 1.8 again dropping next week. The global event, the next global event, which I believe is Strike, will not be out until the week after. So you have 1 week with 1.8, so you'll be able to continue to grind for your exotics and whatnot to try to get those as quickly as you can to try to get the go-to guns, which in my opinion, the go-to gun in this meta is going to be the house. Get the house. I'm going to go grind today to try to get more caches so I can open more and have a chance of getting it. So 1.8 next week, then the global event the week after, increased damage to exotics, more opportunities to get classified gear sets. The Xbox One X patch is coming, but it's not going to come with 1.8, which tells me that there's going to be more content coming after 1.8. We just don't know what it is. Maybe we'll get a year 2 announcement, fingers crossed, or year 3 announcements, fingers crossed. And that's really it. That's really the butt of it. So, for those of you that are in the chat chilling with me, I appreciate you being here. Make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all took my YouTube channel from something that was small, and it's still small, but we're almost at 13,000 subs on YouTube, which is amazing. youtube.com/TimDub151. The podcast will be there. You can get the podcast on the SoundCloud store. Download it there, Division Community Podcast. I'll have the podcast up and running for you, and it'll be on YouTube for you to watch. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and I'll check y'all later. Deuces.